Welcome back to the Harchava podcast. We have arrived at day 10 of this 12-day journey through Nissan, and today we're stepping into one of the most important and, for me, most personal energies of the entire cycle. Today we're in the tribe of Dan and the month of Teives, and the invitation that's coming through really strongly today is this: wholeness does not mean perfect. It just means that nothing gets left behind. This is a message that I've lived through over and over again, but we'll come back to that. First, let's talk about the energy of this day. Teives is one of those months that really doesn't get that much attention, but when you look closer, it's holding so much. It's a month full of paradox. It's cold, it's dark. The 10th of Teives marks the siege of Jerusalem, which is the beginning of the end. It was the moment before everything fell apart, and there's a heaviness to this day and an anticipation and a fear of what's coming. And at the same time, Teives is also the month when Esther was taken to the palace during the Purim story. So we have this girl, this unknown and unseen girl, placed in a position that it will eventually save the Jewish people. The miracle hadn't happened yet, but it was already in motion. That's Teives. Teives is the setup. It's the in-between. It's this energy of not yet. And so it's asking us, can we walk through this part of our story, even when the ending isn't clear? That paradox carries over into the tribe of today, which is the tribe of Dan. And Dan was the tribe that walked last when we traveled in the desert. They weren't out front. They weren't dazzling. They were the ones picking up whatever got dropped. People, items, sparks of holiness, anything that fell behind, Dan gathered it. So it's really easy to romanticize leadership and being out in front. But I think the tribe of Dan really comes to teach us that there's holiness in the quiet roles also, in the backstage work. The loyalty, the presence, the willingness to go back for what others have left behind, and sometimes to go back for what we've left behind. And this is energy that has been really deeply woven into my life, especially the last few years. So I'm a software engineer by trade. I work in Silicon Valley startups. I've led projects. I've managed complexity and systems and teams. And I'm also an inspirational speaker. I've been on stages talking about purpose and burnout and spirituality. I'm an entrepreneur. I build businesses. I mentor. I coach. And I'm also a Torah teacher. I learned Chassidus. I homeschool my kids. I light candles and live by the moon and count Omer. And it's a lot of seemingly paradoxical, oppositional things going on in my life. And for a long time, I really thought that I had to choose, that I had to be one thing, that if I wanted to be respected in the tech world, I needed to hide the more mystical side. If I wanted to be taken seriously in Torah, I couldn't bring my full past with me. And it's taken years and a lot of inner work to realize that the most Geulah aligned thing that I can do is to not leave anything behind. It's to embody this Dan energy and pick it all back up. All of the pieces, all of the seeming contradictions of the month of Teives, everything in my life that seems so separate and disparate, and bring all of those things back together. Because Hashem doesn't need us to be simple. Hashem needs us to be whole. And I think for those of us who are baalei teshuva, this hits even deeper, because often on the way into observance, we're told directly or mostly indirectly to leave behind things from our old life, to start over, to have a clean slate. And yes, there's something powerful about that kind of clean break. But at some point, we have to go back and reclaim what was good, what was true, what was ours, what made us who we are. And there are parts of ourselves that we often can leave behind out of fear or shame or a sense they don't fit anymore. But Dan's energy and the energy of today is really about going and gathering those pieces. The you who danced to music that moved your soul, the you who loved photography or design or deep philosophical conversations, the you who knew how to ask questions, the fire, the spark, the part of you that didn't disappear, it just got maybe buried. Geulah isn't about becoming a new person. It's about redeeming our entire story, bringing it all with us, collecting all of those different parts of ourselves and bringing them to the light. So if we want to ground this in our body, we can stand up and stretch our arms wide like we're drawing a big circle. And take a breath and imagine that all of these pieces of ourselves, all of these scattered versions of you, are standing at the edge of that circle. And then slowly bring your arms in as if you're sweeping it all together. You're sweeping it all back in, gathering what was left behind, just like Don. And when your arms meet, you can let them wrap around you and hold that embrace for a moment. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to fix anything. It's about gathering those opposites, bringing them together, holding them, and letting that reintegration be the breakthrough for today. This is done. This is Teives. This is you coming back to yourself with kindness and with courage. And there's something beautiful about this process during the days leading up to Pesach, where we're going through things we didn't even remember that we had. I know, especially with children, they're finding all of these toys that they hadn't seen in months, and they're so excited. This is a really beautiful energy to tap into, of rediscovering things that maybe we forgot about, choosing what to bring with us into the future, and maybe some things that can be left off to the side. But finding those parts of ourselves that really are beautiful, even though they don't quite fit in the box, and bringing those back into the fold, bringing them back into our lives in a real, beautiful, integrated, holistically holy way. So I'll leave you with your journaling prompts in the show notes. And tomorrow we'll enter the energy of Asher and Shvat. And it's a day all about blessing and flow and allowing all the goodness in. But for today, I want you to just give yourself permission to be many different things, to carry your past with compassion, to bring back things that might have been buried, to walk slowly and still arrive. You are not too complicated to be holy, and you are too holy to leave any of it behind. I'll see you tomorrow.